demişdik ki, təlim 4 gün olacaq. Bugün son gün nəzərdə tutmuşduq. Lakin müəyyən əlavələr oldu. İstərdim onu nəzərinizə çatdırım ki, ayın 29-u da təlimə əlavə bir gün kimi əlavə olundu və əsasən logistika ilə bağlı məsələləri müzakirə edəcəyik ayın 29-u. Və yenə 70%-dən yuxarı ümumi təlim ərzində göstəricisi olan şəxslər sonda sertifikatla təltif olunacaq və bu iştirakçıların iştirak göstəricilərinin hesablanması və sertifikatların hazırlanması ilə birlikdə yəqin ki, ayın 30-u və ya növbəti ayın 1-i sertifikatlar onlayn olaraq təqdim olunacaq, elektron formada təqdim olunacaq. Belə. Ondan əlavə onu da qeyd edim ki, bizim növbəti aydan daha bir təlimimiz nəzərdə tutulub. Bu barədə Azeksportda və kütləvi informasiya vasitələrində məlumatlar paylaşılacaq və Azeksportu izləsəz, bu barədə məlumatlar qeyd olunacaq. Bəli, Səbboy bəy, hazırda Səbboy bəy də bu barədə soruşur. Yeni təlimlər olacaq, elə bu barədə qeyd edirdik. Ətraflı məlumat verəcəyik. Azeksportun Facebook səhifəsini izləsəz, ətraflı bu barədə məlumatlar olacaq. Belə, hamıya uğurlar, çox sağ olun ki, təlimlərimizdə iştirak edirsiniz. Belə, sözü verirəm, Eldar bəy, buyurun. Uğurlar.
Salam hamıya. Ayxan bəy dediyi kimi, yəni bundan sonra da yəni vebinarlarımız davam edəcək. Yəni bir məsələni də mən aydınlaşdırmaq istəyirdim Ayxan bəy sizinlə. Yəni bu belə deyək də biz indiki seriyanı belə deyək bitiririk və bu seriya ilə belə deyək də bağlı sertifikatları veririk və növbəti seriyaya başlayırıq da belə olur.
Bəli, inşallah belə olur.
Bugünkü seminarımız Amazon hesabları barədə olacaq. Yenə də həmişə olduğu kimi Muhammed Esfi Avropada və Amerika Birləşmiş Ştatlarında Amazon hesabını belə deyil, Amazon accountunu necə açmaq bu barədə danışacaq. Yenə də təlim ingilis dilindədir. Kimin sualı olsa, nəsə aydın olmayan məsələ varsa, chatda yazsın. Sualınızı vermək istəsəz, yenə də deyim, Azərbaycan dilində, ingilis dilində çətinlik çəkirsə, Azərbaycan dilində soruşun, mən Muhammedə tərcümə edərəm, kömək edərəm. Belə, verirəm sözü Muhammedə. Muhammed.
Thank you. Thank you, Eldar, for the introduction. Thank you, Ayxan, as well, for this opportunity. And thank you, all of you who are present and ready to at least listen to what I have to share with you. I think Eldar presented it very well with Ayxan. My name is Mohamed Esfi, and some of you may have attended the other webinars we did before, because if you want to really fully understand this webinar, you should also look at the e-payment webinar we did last week, and the company formation webinar. So in order to really understand and profit from this webinar, you need to have the other two, so in total 3. So if you take these 3 webinars together, it makes much more sense. So let's dive into today's subject, which is about how to open an Amazon account when you are not an American or European company. Like in Azerbaijan, you're in Azerbaijan, you're outside of the European Union, and you're outside of the US as well. I will just bring down, and Eldar, if you don't mind, please validating anyone who comes into the meeting. Thank you. So because we don't have so much time in the webinar, so I will really fly over the important things that you need to know as a business manager, as an entrepreneur, so that you can break through whatever real problems we have when we open Amazon accounts. So the first 3 points, which is number 1, Amazon Marketplace, Amazon Fulfillment Services, and Amazon Tax Services. For these 3 first points, I will just let you know what it is and a simple definition and what you need to know about this, but I will not dive into how it works, how much it represents, how much it costs, because that should be another training altogether. Because I want to dive with you in this webinar on the registration steps, like really practical way. First step, second step, problem, what is the solution? So that will be point 4 and 5, where I will share with you how to go over the steps and how to overpass potential problems or usual problems that we have when we open an account with Amazon. And I will do that and try to compare the small differences between Amazon USA or Amazon.com, which is the global marketplace, and compare it with the rules which are sometimes different in Europe. So I will present to you both aspects of these regional differences. And finally, we will close with some tips and good practices for you to take care of before applying to Amazon. And of course, as usual, we will entertain and take with pleasure any question you have. So Eldar Bey and Ayhan Bey can help translating from Azeri to English and then from English to Azeri. So I'm going to start on this. Let's look at the Amazon Marketplace. And actually, what we should say is not Amazon Marketplace. We should say Amazon Marketplaces, because there are so many. As you can see on this map, which is from 2018, Amazon was already present, of course, in North American continent, that is Canada, US, and Mexico. And then it is pretty much available everywhere in Europe, and mainly in 5 countries where it has logistics centers. And then it was also available in India, China, and Japan. Now, when you look at these markets, these are it's a very big market. We're talking about 108 customers can buy from 180 countries, because what we have here are 11 marketplaces. But actually, marketplaces are like legal entities of Amazon. So that means that from the marketplace of Germany, people can still buy from Hungary, from Austria, from Poland. They actually buy from Amazon Germany, but Amazon as a company is only registered in Germany. So this is what we call Amazon Marketplace. It exists in one location as a company and in that jurisdiction. But in total, it's actually available in 180 countries. That is from where people can buy. And the products are shipped from here, for example, from Mexico to Central America or North or South America. And then some countries in Eastern Europe, they can get the shipping from here, Germany or Italy. Likewise, in China, Japan, and India, neighboring countries. But what you need to remember is that Amazon is really aggressive in terms of market penetration, in terms of market expansion. And between 2018, this map, and today, there's all these new markets. Well, before talking about the extensions, there is one point to notice, is that for the first time, Amazon went backward in China. So I think they closed or they reduced the services in China, probably because of very complicated logistics services that they could not agree with, or some payment rules, I'm not sure. There is a competition, as you know, between Alibaba and Amazon globally, but especially in China. So it's not available right now in China, but then we have some new interesting markets for you from Azerbaijan. And I think the first one that may be of interest for you guys is Turkey, because of language, near the border. So logistically, you can ship into Turkey very quickly, very efficiently. And culturally speaking as well, that may be a good market for you to access through Amazon. There is also the UAE, the Emirates. And if you access the Emirates, you actually can access technically the whole Gulf countries, which is Saudi Arabia, the biggest market, the biggest Arab-speaking market. You can also access Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, and some very high net profit or high GDP countries in the Gulf. So that could be interesting for you guys. You also have Singapore, which has opened and which also can serve, technically speaking, Malaysia, and Indonesia, which are also 3 very big Muslim countries, let's say, in terms of culture. And then you also have Brazil, which is a gigantic new market, and Australia, where you have also some good potential. So this is the new landscape as of 2020. And you can see that Amazon is almost like a worldwide marketplace. We're talking about hundreds of millions of potential buyers in B2C, but also in B2B, because Amazon has, as you know, the B2B service. So it's a huge market, and it's a very high, how you call it, development market. They increase the size from year to year. This is about the marketplace. Now, you're probably familiar, or at least you heard of Amazon fulfillment services. And I will just introduce the two types of fulfillment services that they have, especially in Europe. So Fulfilled by Amazon is the logistics service. What it is that they will receive your products, they will store them, and they will also ship to clients automatically when the sale is done, and they can also manage the returns. So it's reception, storage, shipping, and returns management. And the fifth nice thing that they add on is that they do the customer support, meaning that if a client is asking, where is my product, when should I receive it, Amazon is going to reply with shipping tracking codes, and etc. So that reduces your work as an entrepreneur. That is Fulfilled by Amazon, the classic FBA services. So Fulfilled by Amazon is FBA. And as you can see, the main characteristic of FBA is that your products are stored in one marketplace or in one warehouse in one country. So when people will buy from the UK, for example, the left example here, my products are in the UK. Somebody buy from the UK, my products will appear for them in the UK as a Prime product. So Prime is a very powerful selling, how you call it, logo or banner or trust mark. It's a trust mark, because for UK people, when they see Prime, that means they will get fast and free shipping in the UK. They will probably get your product next day for free. Plus, there are some other advantages and discounts on top of this. And your product may appear higher or may appear as a Prime offer, which will show you specifically, because some users will filter the products and will only want to display products that are available in Prime. So sometimes they don't look at other products, only at Prime products. As you know, we as humans, we cannot wait. So if we can find somebody who sells the same product, same price, but faster, we will buy from that particular seller. So that's what you have to bear in mind, the Prime trust mark. And on the left side, so it presents the FBA model from one country to the same country, it's Prime offer, but then from UK to, let's say, somebody in Germany or Poland or France, then in that case, the product will still be available and buyable, but they will have to wait an extra 2 days or 3 days, and they cannot, and the shipping will not be free. Amazon may add €3, €5, €7, sometimes €10 to the shipping fees. So it will not be a Prime product. It will be a normal FBA product. So this is how it works when you have normal FBA. Now, since a couple of maybe 2-3 years, Amazon has opened what they call the Pan-European FBA, which is here. So Pan-European FBA, it's a different warehousing arrangement whereby you may send your products to the UK. So you send the pallet to the UK, but then they will dispatch and store the products in France, in Poland, in Germany, in Italy, maybe in Spain, because their algorithm will calculate the demand and will predict, for this particular product, we may be doing sales in Spain. So we are going to move 5 units into the Spain storage facility. And then they identify, oh, French people also may order. Then they move another few units to France. So they will like spread your stock so that they can offer Prime your product in other countries. So as you can see, once you activate Pan-European, your products will be available with the Prime trust mark in all the countries where they are physically stored by Amazon. Now, to benefit from Pan-European, and we will look at it later, because as soon as you store 1 unit in one European country, you need to have that European country VAT number. So that will actually introduce for us the next presentation, which is about Amazon tax services. So I can take some questions at the end, of course, about how these two models work and what are the benefits. But you can see that if you go with Pan-European, you technically access 300 million buyers who will be able to buy your product and receive them fast and free free shipping, fast and free shipping. So there is a new service that Amazon is offering on top of Amazon Marketplace and Amazon Logistics Services. They now offer Amazon Tax Services. And they actually started offering tax management services in the US already a couple of years ago. And I put for you here the two differences for now, is that in the US, if you open an Amazon US account, you don't have to worry about the sales tax of California, New York State, Pennsylvania, and all the other states, because every state in America applies a different sales tax and asks you to collect and pay that tax. So in the case of the US, you as an Amazon seller subscribe to the tax service, and then what Amazon does is that it will calculate, collect, and remit. Remit means it will pay to the authorities in different states their sales tax. So they will manage this for you. So your prices will automatically change if the customer is in California, and if he's in New York, or if he's in Texas or Nevada, the price will change a little bit, because there may be 8% sales tax, 10%, or sometimes there is 0%, for example, in Wyoming, Nevada, and Delaware. So this is how it works in the US in terms of tax management. But in Europe, it's a little bit different. So since a couple of months, Amazon launched a new service called EU VAT service, Amazon EU VAT. Because until last year, we had to manage the VAT ourselves. Amazon was just telling us, get the VAT number and then do your reporting. But they saw that so many sellers are struggling with the EU VAT that they actually created a new service in cooperation with a company called Avalara. It's a tax company, avalara.com. So now you can subscribe to Amazon Europe VAT services, and they will help you to apply and get the EU VAT number, and then also manage the VAT in different countries. So this is the current situation in both the US market and Europe. And there is a big change coming up, and I want to share it with you right now for the European market. So the EU has enacted a new law that will apply on January 2021. They already did the official announcement. I put the link for you here if you want to read it. But basically what it means is that on January 2021, there will be no escape for VAT sales and VAT management for both B2C and B2B. And I listed for you here the technical changes between now in the middle here. This is what's happening right now in 2020. And then on the right side is what will happen in 2021 for each question. But what you have to remember, to make it simple, is that basically, as of January 2021, it will become the legal responsibility of Amazon to calculate, collect, and remit the VAT taxes of all European countries. So basically, by 2021, it will be the same as in the US. They will have to manage and collect the taxes and everything for each seller. So this is what will happen. So our training today is kind of even preparing you better to this change. Now, what is the current Amazon EU VAT service, and what are the advantages, and why I really suggest that you take a look at it? It has basically 7 advantages. The first advantage is that it's actually the services of Avalara in the background. And I put for you here the Avalara link. Avalara is a specialized VAT sales tax management for e-commerce. It's a company that only does that, and they are really good. You also have Deloitte that does offers the same, and many other companies are offering EU VAT management for e-commerce players. But basically, you're getting the Avalara service inside your Amazon account for cheaper. So that's a good advantage. So that leads to the point number 2, which is, from my experience, the lowest price you can get in terms of EU VAT number application to get the VAT number and to manage and do the reporting. Basically, what they take 500 euro per year per country, and you're fully set for that country in Europe. And this includes the point 3. It includes actually getting the VAT number. So that right now they can help you get EU VAT number in France, UK, Germany, Italy, Spain, and I forgot one, the Czech Republic and Netherlands, I think. So through Amazon, you can apply for 6 different countries' VAT number. And as soon as you get a VAT number in one specific country, you can then stock products there with pan-European FBA. The fourth point is that you can manage both the Amazon sales in terms of VAT, but you can also manage the other sales that you do outside of Amazon. Let's say you have sold to a B2B buyer in Spain. So you can declare this sale and this import tax that he had paid or you have paid, and you can bundle all the other sales that you do on Etsy, on eBay, on your website, which deals with the European Union. You can pull all those sales, put them in Amazon, and then Amazon will calculate everything. The sales on their channel and the sales on the other channels will then deduct, add each country VAT, and will give you a specific report for every country telling you you need to pay this much to Germany, you need to pay this much to France, you need to pay this much to the UK. And that leads us to this point number 4, which is a monthly report that you get for each country. And what is interesting is that they actually have a kind of AI or machine learning system behind that is doing 300 types of error checks on your VAT report. So many mistakes that we may do as humans, this is kind of covered by their technical solution. So at the end, point number 6, you just have to take care of paying the VAT to each country. And each country is giving you a specific account number and a specific date for paying that VAT that is due. Sometimes in some countries, you may not have any VAT to pay, but you still need to declare that you have 0 VAT. So this you have to be careful to do the reporting even if there is 0 sales. And a nice thing that is happening right now, I don't know if it will last, but point 7 is that at the moment they are offering the first year for free. It means that you can get the EU VAT number and the 1 year of VAT reporting for free for the first year. And if it doesn't work, if you're not making money, you can always stop it before the end of the year. I put for you the link to get more information about this service, and they have also a nice video that explains the concept. But this is overall what is the new service that Amazon is offering, and I think it's really a breakthrough in terms of simplifying the access to the EU market. Otherwise, before that, it was really expensive and complicated to access the EU market in terms of e-commerce, especially B2C e-commerce. So let's look now at how you actually register a business account or seller account on Amazon. And I will ask for maybe your experience for some of you, and especially Ayhan, because you have done it for AzExport. So I recorded the recent Amazon business account that I have done it just in the last month, which was for actually a Moldovan company that opened a Romanian company, because Moldova, just like Azerbaijan, is outside of the EU. And because you're outside of the EU, you cannot register on Amazon Europe. You need to have a company inside the European space. So that company from Moldova opened a company in Romania. And because Romania is inside the EU, we use the Romanian company to open the account on Amazon.de, Germany, here. So Amazon Germany and Amazon UK, they allow other companies to register on their platform. So as you can see, it starts with step 1 is the business information. Basically, your company name, your company address, and then you need to have a mobile phone number. You need to have a Visa or MasterCard, which can be charged by Amazon to pay the seller fees, which are, I think, €39 per month. And of course, you need your passport copy on these first steps. So step 1, business information. Step 2 is actually about you, the manager or the owner of the company. So this was the information about Georgeta, basically which country your citizenship is from, which country you're born, your passport number, expiry date, a mobile phone number, and they will send you an SMS for verification. So these are not so complicated things to fill up. Step 3, it's the payment information. So this is, you have to give them a card that they can charge every month. So the card number, the expiry date, who owns the card. It can be a company, or it doesn't matter for Amazon if you pay with your personal card, even if it's a business account. and then an address for billing purposes. So this is point 4, payment information. Sometimes step 4, usually the additional informations are either about tax. For example, in the US, they will ask you to fill up the W-9 tax form if you're not a US resident, or in Europe, it can be they will ask you for an EU VAT number in the country where your company is. In our case, for example, a Romanian EU VAT number. So that will be step 4. It changes from country to another. It changes from even a few months to another. They change the steps. So once you do that, usually you reach the 5th and final step, where they tell you, okay, what's your business name that you want to have on Amazon? So for example, we want to have G Showroom. They check if it's available. If it's good, they tell you, okay, you're good to go. You can start listing your products. You can see here green. So Ayhan, I have a question, if you don't mind. How difficult do you think this is? Ayhan, if Ayhan is not here, anyone want to tell us how difficult do you find this? If not, I will reply. Okay.
So I never did this, but I think it's not that difficult.
Thank you. What's your name? Is Aisha?
Yes, it's Aisha.
Thank you, Aisha. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's all a matter of filling up some data into the form and clicking next, right? So,
yeah.
So usually, like you, Aisha, we think it's very easy or maybe easy, but at least it should be around here. Now, the reality...
Not very easy.
It's easy.
Easy.
Yes. So the reality is that it's not difficult. It's very difficult. That's the reality. And I think Ayhan Bey can later tell us the difficulties that they may have encountered as export or some other companies from you who tried to sell on Amazon US or Europe. And basically, why I say it's very difficult, it's because we are not ready. And what happens is this, is that after a few months, you will be like this gentleman. You will be swearing at Amazon. Why they don't accept me? I gave all the documents they ask. I fill up everything. It's been 3 months. No way to sell, no way to list my products. So it usually leads to a lot of frustrations, especially if you're not an American resident or a European resident or a resident or a business in one of the countries where Amazon is, which is the case for us in Azerbaijan. So my next point is to share with you how to avoid this frustration. But I'm just warning you, you still have to be very patient before you can sell on Amazon. So let's look at together why people get upset with Amazon, although it all looks simple. And that's because of the Amazon stringent compliance solution. That's because of the Amazon very strict compliance rules. And I will present to you for each problem a solution. So some of you may have attended the webinar about e-payments. So the next 3 slides are actually taken from that e-payment webinar. And those who have not seen this webinar yet, I really strongly suggest that you go and watch it because I explained more in depth what we call the compliance documents that all e-payment solutions are asking. And in our case, in Amazon today, actually Amazon is asking the same things as e-payment solutions, plus more layers of difficulties. So it's easier technically to open a bank account or to open a payment account than it is to open an Amazon account. Amazon is, from my experience, the most difficult type of account to open in like the whole of the e-commerce worldwide providers that they may be. And the reason is that it's such a big marketplace. It's such an attractive marketplace that they receive every day thousands of new seller application. Many of them are fake or cheaters. So Amazon had to like upgrade their level of difficulty in terms of selecting and cutting off whatever bad sellers they may have because they're protecting their market. So that's why they do it. And it's for us a problem in a way, but then in another way, it's a selection criteria. So that means that if you break through as an Azeri company, you will probably be one of the few Azeri companies selling there. So there will be almost no competition. So let's look at what they need. The first thing that they need is what we call the documents for the legal entity, the company, your business. So they need the certificate of incorporation, which is in Azerbaijan, maybe it's called the certificate of registration or another name. They need the articles of organization, which are a set of 20 pages or 30 pages that we call sometimes in France or other countries the statuses or the bylaws. It's basically a pack of pages that explain how the company is organized, how the directors are elected, how the shareholders are elected, what the company can do, if it can take loans or not, and so on. So this is the articles of organizations or equivalent. They also require a list of directors that can very clearly say Mohammed and Aisha are directors of this company. And they also need a simple document that shows the shareholders. For example, if Aisha and me, we have a business and we have 50% each shares in that company, then we need a document that shows Aisha has 50% of the shares, like a share certificate, and Mohammed has 50%. And then Amazon can see directly, oh, these are the two real owners. Sometimes the shareholder of a company is another company. So in that case, you need to show the share certificate that is under that company name. But then Amazon may ask you, okay, so if company B owns your company A, then who are the shareholders of company B? So they will want always to reach the human that is owning the final corporation that owns shares. So this is the 4 basic documents that they would need for a company. Now, on top of that, as we have seen in the e-payment webinar, they may ask for a certificate of good standing, which is here, which is basically a document that says that your company, as of 2020, has done all its requirements of 2019 year. For example, the accounting of 2019 is already done, you have declared. So normally your country or the country in the EU will give you a kind of a receipt that you have published your accounts. So that plays like a certificate of good standing. Otherwise, this document exists in the US, and in England maybe a little bit different name, but they have a certificate of good standing. They will also sometimes ask you to translate your company documents into English, and sometimes even ask you to have a certified true copy with apostille. And I advise that in any case, if your company appear in the register of companies online of Azerbaijan, then that you get the link where we can see your company on the online register, and you can share that link. Now, the second things that e-payments and Amazon will verify is the personal individual, the humans. So especially the managers, the directors, and every shareholder that has more than 25% of the company. So what do they need? They need an identity card that can be a passport or a national card. And you have to be careful that it's valid for at least 6 months, and that you have the copy of both sides if it's the national ID. Even if the other side is blank, it's okay. You need to give the recto and the verso. And the best is the passport, because the passport in one page, they see the photo and they have the MRZ code, which they can use to verify that the passport is a real one. The second document you need to give for every human is the proof of address. So the proof of address, it has to be less than 3 months old. It can be an electricity bill, a water bill, an internet bill. It has to show your name and the address on it. Be careful, because sometimes we rent an apartment from someone, but the electricity bill is still under the owner name. So if you give the owner name with your address, they will not accept it. It has to have your name. So if the electricity is under the owner, use the gas, use the internet, use the water bill, some other bills that can show really your name and your address, exactly as it appears on your Amazon account. The third thing that I really advise to give to these companies is your resume or your biography, because you want to show that you have experience, you have knowledge in this kind of business, that you're serious and you can manage this business. So this is really a very nice bonus. The third thing that you need to provide, and which we have already seen in the e-payment webinar, is that you need to present your catalog. Even if you have not yet uploaded the catalog on Amazon, you can show them either a PDF either a website where they can see your prices, your product descriptions, photos, or you can show a social page, like if you're selling on Instagram or Facebook or even Twitter, you can show them some activity and show them that you have a real business, a real product catalog. So I'll go fast on this because what I want to focus on today with you is what is actually the main problems that block an Amazon account. But you need to still cover these three requirements that we have seen in e-payments webinar. So let's look at the differences between Amazon.com in the US and Amazon Europe in terms of compliance. So overall, they need the same documents for company, the same documents for each human directors or shareholders, and the same information about the products themselves. But what the main difference between the US registration process and the European registration process is that how they verify your documentation and when they verify it. For example, in the US, it is a robot. It is artificial intelligence that checks your passport. They check the company proof of address, and then, you know, the AI is as good as the humans who programmed it. If the AI doesn't recognize the passport, or if it's not scanned properly, if it's not a PDF, if the resolution is not good enough, if it's not in color, the AI will just reject the document, even though you have put your real passport. And the same for the proof of address. The AI will check, and they will not recognize the bank, they will not recognize the electricity company, they will not recognize the layout, or it doesn't recognize the words and the text because the proof of address is in Azeri or Russian or whatever, or it's not clear enough, the text. So it's very frustrating in the US because the AI will verify your documents at the very beginning. So that means that you cannot even finish opening the account. At the first step where they ask the document, already you cannot go into the next step. So what happens is that when you open the US account, every time you fail, Amazon will ask you, okay, this account now is not valid anymore. Please reopen a new account with a new email address. So sometimes we need 5 email addresses. It will consume 5 email addresses. Like sometime I created Amazon1@sv.com, burned. Then I did Amazon2@sv.com, Amazon 3, 4, 5. And then the 5th time, finally, I got the documents validated. So this is what happened. You may have to open multiple accounts. You may have to prepare multiple emails. And now what happens is that until you actually pass this automatic verification, you cannot start listing products. So you're just frustrated. You have, but you don't have an Amazon account until you solve this. Some people may have spent 3 months, 6 months, a year, and they still don't pass this step. So many people abandon. That's why I put that image of the frustrated gentleman with Amazon. So this is for the US Amazon specification. Now, it doesn't mean that what happens in Amazon doesn't happen in Europe. It's just that it is a little bit different. So in Europe, you still have humans that verify your documentation. And usually they will let you go through the steps I showed you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can list products now. Sometimes they can let you list 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 products. But then after a week or few days, they will disable your account. They will deactivate your account, and they will tell you, hey, hold on, the proof of address of the company is not good. Your passport is not good. Your identity card missing the back side. So many other things that Amazon US is going to verify at the very beginning. So now what it means is that the impact of this in Europe is that you may have to fill up different complaints. So the first time they refuse you, then you complain. You ask for a reactivation account, a review of your account. Then they refuse again. They tell you, no, the proof of address is in Russian. We don't accept Russian. Can you translate it into English, Spanish, or Italian, or whatever? So, and then you have to provide that document and maybe appeal again. So sometimes we have to appeal 4 times, 5 times. But the good thing is that you may start to put a product or 2 and start to train. These are the 2 main differences between Amazon US and Amazon Europe registration, but more importantly, validation of the seller account. I can reply to more questions because sometimes it's really complicated with Amazon. So let's look now at what are the main problems from my experience that really block both Amazon US and Amazon Europe. At the end, it's the same. If it's a human or the AI, they will want to validate few points. Point number one that blocks everything is the business proof of address. So you have a company in Romania, in Poland, or in France or UK, or in the US, you did a company in Delaware. And now Amazon wants a proof of address for the business, for the company. So a proof of address, usually the document that they prefer is a bank statement. So when you're an Azerbaijani owner of a US Delaware company, it's not easy to get a US bank account, like a bank account in Bank of America or Chase or JP Morgan or whatever. It may be difficult. So one solution that normally works is to open a Pioneer business account. Again, I explained in the webinar of e-payments how you can benefit or open a Pioneer account. So you may actually refer to it. But basically, once you open a Pioneer account and you validate it, then they have a specific step where you need to link your Amazon account to your Pioneer account.
Sir, we cannot hear your voice.
Oh, sorry. So since when you cannot hear my voice?
But I actually think was okay. I could hear you, but I think it's a problem related to someone's internet connection.
Okay. Okay. Orhan, where did you lose me? Shall I go backwards one slide? Okay, I can answer Orhan at the end. I will continue for now. So once you open the Pioneer account, the next thing that you need to do is to link the Amazon account to the Pioneer account. And that is the only way that Pioneer will generate for you a specific bank statement that you can give to Amazon. They don't give it to you straight away. You have to request it manually. So this is basically one solution. And like I put here for you, nota bene, note, this may not always work. Sometimes it works, sometimes they refuse, sometimes Pioneer doesn't give that letter anymore, or the letter format changed. So you have to be ready that it could be refused. But that's I would say the first solution you need to try, because it's free. It costs nothing. Now, let's say this solution doesn't work. I'm going to present to you a second solution. Okay, I'm sorry for Orhan, but I will continue. Now, if it's happening for more participants that they don't hear me, Eldar, then maybe I can look at my microphone or something. But if not, I'm going to continue. So let's say, cross finger, that hopefully they accept Pioneer solution. Now, if they don't accept, here is a second solution that unfortunately costs more money or costs more efforts, is that what they would expect from you a bank statement from a traditional US bank, or for Europe from a traditional European bank. What I mean by traditional European bank is a brick and mortar bank. So a brick and mortar bank is usually known by the AI of the US system, or is known by the humans who are going to verify in Europe. So in any case, a national bank, a big brick and mortar bank will be easier to identify. Now, even though you manage to open, let's say, a Bank of America account, and this is actually what I have done just in November 2019. I validated one Amazon US account with a newly opened Bank of America account for my own company. But even with a Bank of America bank statement, which I downloaded from Bank of America online e-banking system, it was still refused by the AI of the Amazon US verification process. So the only way I broke through is that I actually printed my online statement, then I rescanned it in PDF and in color, and then I uploaded the PDF, and then the AI accepted my statement and my passport. It took me 3 months, and finally, after doing this, it was the hallelujah. I got my Amazon business account validated. Now, opening a traditional US bank account may either require you to pay some money to some agent to help you to do it, or in some cases, some banks that you can contact online, they will ask you to fly to the US for identity verification. In some cases, some American banks may have a partner bank in Azerbaijan, or a branch or a partner bank, I don't know, in Georgia, or maybe in Poland, or somewhere nearer for you to go and visit that branch in that country and present your passport and identity, and then they may accept that. So these are usually the different ways to open a bank account in America. But I have to say that opening a bank account in the US is still a difficult operation. But nevertheless, that's one more way to solve this proof of address issue with Amazon. And it works the same in the EU. They will not ask you this at the beginning, but they will ask you this after a few days or few weeks. They will ask you this bank statement as well. And they have to actually understand that this bank exists. It has to be a bank that is verifiable. So this is #1 problem that blocks Amazon account validation. This is #1 problem. I presented to you 2 solutions. #2 problem that blocks Amazon accounts, and actually this one is often our problems, is our human documentation that is a problem. So when it comes to personal identification, everybody else than Amazon, like banks, e-payments, even PayPal, they may ask you for 1 identity document. Sometimes they may ask you for 2 identity documents, but Amazon is asking for 3. So it's not enough for them. They have to triple verify that you as a human exist. So I read on some forums that one of the reasons they are doing this is that because there were some smart cheaters from China that are using students' national ID cards and so on to open 20 Amazon accounts and do a lot of nonsense. So Amazon had to step up the human verification. So these are the rumors why, but nevertheless, whatever it is, the reason behind, you need to prepare 3 identity documents. 3 documents that have your name and, if possible, your photo. Now, what I suggest, and from my experience, what works the best is that document #1 should be the passport. And if you want to do cross-border international e-commerce and you do not have a passport right now because you don't need it for traveling, but for e-commerce, I really strongly advise you to go and make an Azeri passport. Even if you don't travel, it doesn't matter. When you have an Azeri passport, it's much better, much easier to verify your identity for many players online. So #1, passport, but the passport needs to have at least another 6 months of validity. When you scan your passport, don't send a photo that you make with your smartphone. They hate it. So scan it with a scanner, with a good color scanner with at least 300 dpi resolution, or a scanner that when you scan it and you print it yourself, you can read your name on the passport. Don't send a photo that once printed is unreadable, because that again frustrates the Amazon compliance team, and then they will delay by 1 week the verification and so on. Make sure you scan the whole, I don't have my passport here, but you scan that the whole 2 pages that have your photo, and make sure that your signature is appearing, because some passport you have to sign them at the bottom. So make sure that we can see your signature over there. So those are the rules for the passport. The second document that they need is your national identity card. Well, this one, we all have it. I mean, we should have it. So national identity card, what you need to know is the same. It has to be valid for at least 6 months. Sometimes some identity documents do not have expiry date, which is okay. But then you need to also put a copy of the back of the card. Even if the back of the card is white, some national cards don't have a back side, but it's white, it's okay, I scan it as well. Of course, your photo should be there and should be visible. Sometimes maybe we put our finger or paper cover. Be careful. Photo has to be readable, visible, and just like the passport, it has to be a good quality scan in PDF and not a photo. The third document, I advise that it should be your driving license, because driving license is also kind of a semi-official document that is verified by your country authorities. And it also has the photo. So it allows Amazon to triple check your face with your identity documents. So the best is to have driving license. The same driving license will apply to the same rules as the ID card, good quality, validity more than 6 months, the front and the back of the driving license, and good quality scan. Now, let's say you do not have these 3 documents. You only have 2 of them. So if you only have 2 of them, then it's okay, because you have 2 photo identity documents, which is the minimum that they need, 2 official ID documents with photo. And then the third one, let's say you have passport. So let's say you don't have a passport. You only have national ID and driving license. Okay, no problem. But then the third document should be one of the following here. I'll put it at the bottom. Either your medical card, medical insurance card. Sometimes medical insurance card also has a photo, which is very good. But even if it doesn't have the photo, it should show your name, your address, your insurance policy, and the insurance company. And then if you don't have a medical insurance card, then your birth certificate. Now you cannot tell Amazon that you don't have a birth certificate. That would be a problem, right? So birth certificate is the one that really you should already have, or you should request again. If you don't have these 2, or if it takes you too much time, you still can give a utility bill, like a phone, internet invoice, or a water bill, or any proof of address that you have, any invoice that you pay every month to a provider. But be careful, it has to be less than 3 months old. So this is the way that you can really solve the problem of identity verification. And basically, if you do these steps that I showed you, if you prepare the proof of address with the bank statement, and if you prepare in advance these 3 documents, everything well in PDF organized, then you're going to be able to not only open the Amazon account in the US and in Europe, but actually validate it, which is the most difficult part. So this is actually the secret, but it's not really a secret. It's really a good practice. It's a minimum discipline that you need to do. So my personal advice is that you really solve this. You really prepare all of these documents in advance. You put them in one folder in your computer. You make sure that each PDF has the proper name. For example, the PDF file for your passport, I call it Mohammed SV, Mohammed -SV -passport, and then Mohammed -SV national ID.pdf. You know, even your files should have the name of that document, because then you make the life of the compliance agent in Amazon easier. And actually, Amazon staff may like you. So instead of, you know, asking you too many questions, when you provide them everything, they can cross information, and they may actually fill up some missing things for you without bothering you. So you end up getting the account validated faster with less frustrations. So this is the simple solutions to what seems like very complex problems with Amazon. This is really the red tape solutions. Now, there are some other things that I advise you to do, but we do not have much time to cover them all, because we already done 1 hour together, and I want to take some time for questions. But basically, on the 6th point, I put for you some good practices, some tips, tricks that I think you should do. Is that you have to understand, number 1, that Amazon asks you to add a bank account into your account. Now, adding a bank account doesn't mean verifying your bank address, your proof of address. It's 2 different things. Sometimes people think that because they put the account number and the account number in Amazon was validated, they think that it's okay, my bank statement was approved. No, it's 2 different things. So you have to really separate them. Second, the proof of address of the human, the manager that opens the Amazon account, is different from the proof of address of the business. Sometimes we give to Amazon the same proof of address for the company and the same proof of address for the human. And that is really frustrating Amazon. So please remember, you need to have two different proof of address. One that is under the company name, which can be the bank statement with Pioneer or a bank statement from another bank, or an electricity bill or a rental agreement under the company name, if it's 3 months old or less. And then the other proof of address, which is about Mohammed, me, or about Aisha. It should have Aisha name, it should have Aisha personal address, and it should be 3 months or less in terms of date. So that's the point number 2, good practice and good confusion that you need to clarify on your side. The third point, and I think I heard from you, you were suffering this part, is that especially when you work with the Amazon US account and the AI sees that you have tried 1 time, 2 times, 3, 4, 5, 6 times you failed, then they may blacklist your IP address from Azerbaijan. So after you try again the 6th time, you can actually not access Amazon registration anymore. They block you. So in that case, you may want to pay or to find a free VPN service, which virtual private network. You can Google it. Some are free. Tunnelbear.com has a free option. They gave you 500 megabytes for free per month. And then use this Tunnelbear to switch your IP address from Azerbaijan to, I don't know, Georgia, Poland, whatever, another country in Europe. And then go back to Amazon registration and then start again with the new IP address. So this is a third blockage that can happen sometimes. The fourth point is that before you even start, I advise you to, even if you're the only manager, even if you're the only owner of the company, still Amazon wants an authorization letter from the company saying that Mohammed Esfi is allowed to open and run an Amazon account. So in advance, you can draft a letter with the company letterhead saying that for the company C-Tailor Corporations, Mohammed Esfi is active manager and he's allowed to open Amazon or other marketplaces and run these accounts on behalf of the company. Date, place, signature, and stamp, chop of the company. Boom. Yes, Mohammed has the right to open and manage the Amazon account. That's point number 4. Then point number 5, at one point or another, Amazon is going to ask you, this product, do you have a trademark? So sometimes we resell other people's trademark or other people's products. In that case, we will need an authorization letter from the trademark or the brand owner. So if you're reselling products from, I don't know, another Azeri company, then you need to get from that Azeri company a letter saying that I authorize Mohammed Esfi to sell, Mohammed Esfi, who has the Amazon account X and Y, to sell my products which carry the brand Azeri Fruits or I Love Azerbaijan, for example. Now, if you own your own brand, or if you registered your own trademark, then you need to attach the trademark documents, or you need to do a declaration that you own this trademark by yourself and you're allowing yourself to sell it to Amazon. Now, bear in mind that in the letter, there are 2 models that Amazon is always giving you some templates. You can download them. But you have to remember that Amazon has 2 templates for the brand authorization. One is some products that you have maybe have a GS1 barcode, official one from Azerbaijan. So if you have official EIN GS1 barcode, then you just need a simple authorization saying, I authorize Mohammed to sell my products. If you do not have GS1 barcodes, then the letter should say that this brand does not have any barcode, does not have any GTIN, any EIN, or any GS1 barcode numbers. So this will allow me as a seller, or allow you as a seller, to generate other codes, because Amazon always require a barcode. So this is where we solve this problem. And actually, it's the 6th point as well. It's called GTIN, Global Identification Number. So some categories, you may just enter generic as a brand, and it will let you list the product in that category. So there is a process where you say, I'm going to sell generic products under this category. They accept you. But if it's not a generic product, if you want to have the brand of the product appear on Amazon, then you will need to put either the barcode itself if it exists on Amazon, or you will put the brand for which you got the authorization of 0.5. So 0.5 and 6 are kind of related. Finally, 0.7, which is a good practice. Yes, Eldar? Okay. The last good practice, or the last thing that you need to be calm about it, is that you may have to request many times to Amazon to review again your account, to reactivate your account. So many times for me, they activated my account, and then after 1 or 2 weeks, they blocked it again. Then I give that document, I give that information, and then they re-enable it. Then I start to put one product, and then they block it again. So sometimes it takes 3, 4, 5, 6 reactivation requests. So basically, if you cover the solutions that I presented to you earlier in point 5, the compliance solutions, and if you match them with point number 6, these 7 good practices, this should get you through the Amazon complicated process. And for me, I finished this web presentation, this one web presentation. I'll happily take your questions, and I leave the floor to Ayhan or Eldar, or any of you if you have questions. I'll also look at the chat. So any one of you, please unmute yourself, or write me on the chat so that I unmute you so that you can ask the question. Or you can ask it in Azeri by speaking, or by writing in the chat, and we'll translate.
Mohammed?
Yes.
So can I summarize by saying that the difference between, let's say, Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk is that different, let's say, compliance requirement, and this thing that you mentioned, prime thing, that when one person in UK makes a search, if you register it on Amazon.co.uk, your product will be shown as a prime product. So
yes. So it's a little bit. So it's 2 questions, and thank you for the question, Eldar. So
yeah,
first,
I just want to understand what is the reason in registering, let's say, in Amazon Turkey or versus Amazon.com. So
yes. So Amazon.com is the global, they call it the global platform, right? But even when you open an Amazon.com account, you still can sell in all the other countries. So Amazon.com is supposed to be for the US, but inside the US Amazon account, Amazon.com, you still can select, I want to sell in Europe, in this country, I want to sell in Turkey, I want to sell in Emirates, and so on, Japan, and so on. So let's say let's say that Amazon.something marketplaces is just a point of entry. You can enter from Amazon.com, but you can also enter from Amazon.co.uk. You can also enter from Amazon.co.jp Japan. Whatever you enter from, you will do the compliance there. And then once you do the compliance, your account is validated. You can extend, they call it Amazon Central International Account. You can extend to other countries. So I think it's just a door. It's just the entry door. Now, the differences, Eldar, between Amazon, let's say US marketplace validation process and Amazon Europe compliance validation process is that, like I put here in this slide, in the US, they have so many, every day the volume of Amazon account opening is huge. Probably thousands and thousands every day are opening accounts, and every day they are refusing 90%, 99%, they are no. There's so many to deal with. So what they have done in the US is that they verify the account using some form of automated way, which has more hassles because it doesn't let you go to the second step. When I say second step, it means here. Going from this step, so going from step of business information to seller information, you cannot even get there. You cannot get from step 1 to step 2 in the US. unless you already put the documents of the passport and the proof of address of the business, and it's approved by the AI. So somehow when you enter from Amazon.com, you get the struggle at the door. Like before entering, the first step is already the struggle is there. But in Europe, the door opens, you enter, and then you start to go in the stairs, and in the 5th stair, they will tell you, hey, stop, Eldar, now the same documents I need as the US, but I need them now in the step 5 or step 6. That's, Eldar, the difference between US and Amazon. It's only a difference in terms of how and when it gets tough in terms of verification. So Amazon US, it's tough from the beginning. Amazon Europe, it's tough at the very end of the registration process. In terms of documents, they both need the same, exactly the same document, the same proof of address, the same solution, the same way of scanning documents, the same documents for every individual, everything is the same. Now, I hope it answers your first question. Now, your second question about Prime in the UK or not is a different question, I think. So this Prime or not Prime is only for Europe, because Europe has more complicated regulations in terms of VAT management. So Amazon cannot just store your products in Germany unless you have a German VAT number. They cannot stock your product in Spain unless you have a Spanish VAT number. So sometimes we don't want to have VAT number everywhere. We only have a VAT number in the UK. In that case, my products will only appear as Prime in the UK because I'm not ready to go pan-European. So when I have an Amazon FBA account UK, my product will not only appear Prime in the UK. Now, if I upgrade my European Amazon account to pan-European FBA, then I apply for the VAT number in Germany, Poland, France, Italy, Spain, and whatever other countries they have. And then now my products, Amazon will move them physically to each country. And once they move them to each country, my product will also appear as Prime in the other European countries where they are physically stored and where I have a VAT number. That's the difference between these two European FBA services. In the US, you don't have this separation. In the US, your product appears Prime in California, appears as Prime in New York State, in Pennsylvania State. It appears Prime almost everywhere. I hope, Eldar, it makes sense.
Yes, so Prime doesn't depend on where did you enter the market. So you can get registered on Amazon.com, but obtain, let's say, VAT number in Germany and to be a Prime for German buyers.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, you can open a US account, and at the beginning you're selling in the US, and then in Amazon Central, they call it, you can say, oh, I want to sell in Germany. So then you will click, I want to sell in German marketplace. When you click there, it will tell you, okay, before you can sell in Germany, give us the VAT number. So you can apply for a VAT number, or if you already have a German VAT number, you will enter it there, and then they will move, you can move products from the US to Germany. And then, like you said, Eldar, your products will now appear as a Prime in Germany as well. And you can enter from Turkey as well. You can, at the beginning, you can have your product in Turkey, for example, or in Poland or wherever, and then open other markets slowly. Now, Eldar and others, even if you don't have Prime in Germany and you have a US account, you still can actually enable sales for Germany, France, even the UK. But then the buyers, they will not see the product as Prime. They still can buy your product, which is physically in the US. But when they will click for that product, which is physically in the US, it will say this product is in the US. When they will add to the cart, it will tell them, look, actually the product is $29 if you're in the US, but if you're in Germany, it's plus $15 for cross-border shipping, plus $10 of VAT. So actually Amazon will recalculate the price and end up the price is almost double for a German buyer. Amazon is really a very complicated marketplace, but I'm trying to simplify how it works. But please re-ask a question if it's not clear. Am I still heard, Eldar? Or we lost you, Eldar?
So for Azerbaijani selling a Turkish VAT, Amazon.com.tr, and then let's say to expand to other markets.
Mm-hmm. So you mean opening an Amazon Turkish account?
Yes, yeah.
So Amazon Turkish
so
account?
Considering language issues, and I don't know if you mentioned AI, artificial intelligence. So maybe I don't know if in Turkey you are dealing with a human, and you can explain maybe something, etc. So, in my opinion, it would be easier for Azerbaijani companies, SMEs, I don't know, entrepreneurs to open an account in Turkey, and then if they want to expand to other markets. What do you think?
Yes, actually, technically, Eldar, it's the same, because every time, so like I was saying, there's the door that you use to enter the Amazon worldwide system, the door. So yes, you can enter from the Turkish door, right? But to enter from the Turkish door, if you open an Amazon Turkey account, you can only open an Amazon Turkey account if you have a Turkish company. So you, as an Azerbaijani entrepreneur, you will need to first open a Turkish company. The Turkish company opens a Turkey Amazon business account, and then the Turkish company using the Amazon Turkey account can extend to Germany, right? But when you will, as a Turkish company, click I want to sell in Germany, then it will ask you the same. It will ask you, do you have a German VAT number? If you have a German VAT number, then your Amazon Turkey account can now sell in Amazon Germany. So it's always like territory by territory, whatever entry you may enter from. It's okay, Eldar? And if it's okay, Eldar,
yeah. Just to clarify.
Yes.
So,
I don't.
Do you need a VAT? Can you hear me?
No. Can you repeat, please?
Do you need to get VAT in the specific country where you are planning to sell?
Yes, it's a good question. So, do you need a VAT in each specific country where you want to sell? No, you don't need the VAT, because they can always ship from your country where you have registered to the other countries. But if you want your products to appear as prime, because to appear as prime, they need to be stored in that specific country, right? But the law says that before you can stock a product in Germany, you need to have a German VAT number. Before you can stock a product in America, you need to have an EIN number. Before you can stock your product in Turkey, you need to have a Turkish tax ID number. So you don't need it to sell for your product to appear in the other marketplaces. But if you want your buyers to buy your product cheaper with free shipping with Prime, then you need the local VAT number of that local buyer country. Does it make more sense?
Yes. Yeah. But again, in case with Azerbaijani products, like again, I'm just thinking about our beneficiary companies.
Mm-hmm.
And if they have, let's say, some specific products that is attributable specifically to Azerbaijan, and they don't have competitors in other countries, so it's not so important to become a prime. So if they have some specific product that do not have competitors in that countries.
That's right, Eldar. I mean, it's right and no. It's right because yes, if you're the only one to sell one unique product and the buyer really wants it, he's going to pay the price, right? And there's no competition. But you also have to consider that people, they feel cheated if they see that your product is $30 and then I have to pay another. So the product is $30 and then it's going to cost me an extra $30, total $60 to buy it because your product is in Turkey and I'm in Germany. So what I mean is that they will still pay $60, but they don't like that you show that it displays 30 and then they start doing the business, the order, and then it shows another 15 because of it adds the VAT, it adds the shipping. So the good thing when you list with Prime is that they see the final price all included, no surprises. So some buyers, even though you're the only one selling this item from Azerbaijan or Turkey or whatever, they don't really trust you when they see that things are adding up along the way when they order. And also the second point that you need to consider, Eldar, is that when you have a Prime product as a customer, you can return, you also get free returns. But if your products come from Turkey or from outside Prime, that means the buyer will have to pay, or maybe he cannot even return it because there's no way, or it's too complicated to return to Azerbaijan. So it's all about marketing. I think to have Prime or not, it's a big advantage, but it doesn't mean you cannot sell. It just means that you need to convince your buyer, or you need to have some good arguments.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Shall I answer Orhan a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Orhan. I'm happy that you can hear me again and hear us again. So yes, I will re-explain the difference between FBA and FBA Pan-European. So I'll put it here in big. Okay, so that you can see everything. All right, so the difference, so let's talk about the difference for FBA and FBA Pan-European from the different countries' buyers, because it only makes a difference from the buyer perspective. For you, it's almost the same. You're just selling. You want to sell to everyone. So if I'm a buyer, let's say I'm a buyer from Germany, and you have opened an Amazon UK account, and you only have Amazon Prime in the UK, but I am physically in Germany here, right? So as a German buyer, if your product is just with normal FBA UK, I will not see Prime beside your product. That means that I can search for Azerbaijani tea, for example, if you're selling tea, and I can see that there is Azerbaijani tea in your Amazon UK account, but it's not Prime. That means that if I'm in Germany and I still want to buy your product, just like I said for Eldar, I can see it. But when I will add it to my Amazon shopping cart, it will tell you, oh, Orhan, you're in Germany, you want to buy this product that comes from UK. So the price is not £30. The price is £30 plus £15 for shipping, plus the VAT in Germany is 20%. So that's going to be another £6. So total is £45. And instead of same day delivery or next day delivery, this is going to take 5 days. That's the difference from the perspective of the German buyer. So that means that he has to wait longer. He has to add more fees, and it gets complicated. I need to wait 5 days, and then I need to pay extra and extra. I'm just going to buy from somebody from Germany. Even if it's not exactly Azeri tea, I'm going to buy Georgian tea, because Georgian tea is available as a Prime product in Germany. So this is how it works from the perspective of the buyer. Now, if you want to appear, if you want your products to appear as Prime with fast shipping, one price, all-inclusive price, and free returns in every country of Europe, then you need to activate Prime in every country. And to activate Prime in every country, that's what is called the Pan-European program. So the Pan-European program has one requirement, is that before they can dispatch your product physically in every country, they pre-move your products, you need to have a VAT number in every other country. So that means that to have Pan-European FBA in UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain, you need to have a VAT number in each of these 5 or 6 countries. So once you have the VAT number in all of the countries, then you can activate Pan-European, meaning that Pan-European has 2 main advantages. Your products appear Prime everywhere, everywhere actually in Europe, even in Netherlands, even in Poland, even if you don't have a Polish VAT number, because they can ship from Germany to Poland. It's very cheap. So first advantage of pan-European is that for all European customers, your products can appear as prime. The second advantage slipped out of my mind. The second advantage, I forgot it, is that you can actually store products everywhere in Europe. Ah, yes, the second advantage, sorry, is the fees, the costs. So for example, if you use FBA Amazon in UK and you have to ship from the UK to Germany, the cost for you as a seller of shipping from UK to Germany, a small item, is going to be about 10 euros, roughly, because it costs money. But if you are now in pan-European FBA, because Amazon, they already moved your products to Germany, to France for free. They don't ask you for money. They already move your products and they store them because they will study the demand. So what they do, because the products are already near the buyer, what happens for you as a second advantage when you have pan-European is that it only costs you now €2.90 to ship anywhere in Europe. So somebody buys from Italy, from Sicilia, somebody buys from the south of Spain, like where I am right now. It doesn't matter where they buy from Europe. For you as a seller, it only costs you about €3, €2.90, in some cases €2.50. So that's a big difference between €10 if it's shipped from the UK, it will cost you €10 shipping for a German customer, to €2.50, €2.90 to any customers in Europe when you have pan-European FBA. So these are the two main advantages. I hope this answers your question, Orhan. And I'm going to reopen the chat. You're most welcome. Eldar, if you see any other questions, I'm happy to answer. If not, please let me know if we close the chapter. If any of you have a last question, please don't be shy.
No, I don't have questions, but it seems that, as you mentioned in your presentation, it's not so easy.
Yes, yes.
It's quite a difficult process. So especially if you want to become a prime seller for buyers, it's
Yes.
quite a difficult process. So for some reason, I thought that it's just like, clicking a few buttons, and you'll be registered in let's say in a couple hours. But it's quite a difficult process.
Eldar, I confirm, and actually, I think Ayhan had the first-hand experience of how complicated and how difficult it is. That's why I put this slide. It's really like sometimes you just think, when am I going to be able to sell? But I mean, the objective of this training is also that we are going to share the PDF and the video with our participants. So I really advise every one of you, maybe you need to watch again, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, because like Eldar said, the first point you understand, oh, registration. And then you need to understand, oh, prime, oh, the tax, oh, the documents. So yes, probably we need to watch and experience this 2 or 3 times. Most welcome, Sevinch. So I think, Eldar, if it's all good, maybe I can take the opportunity to thank everyone for your patience. And I know it's a very difficult point. So I really want to thank the 20 plus people who have.
Participants have some questions. Suallar yoksa, yani kimse, belki indi kimse Azerbaycan dilinde sual vermək istəyirsə, deyə bilərsin, mən tərcümə eləyərəm Muhammedə. Suallar yoksa, onda söz verək Muhammedə, bugünkü təlimimizi bitirsin və növbəti webinar həftənin 1-ci günü olacaq. So Muhammed, can you please tell us, just final words, say a few final words about this seminar and a few words about the next webinar on.
Yes, I lost you, but I think you said if I can say a few words about this webinar and the next ones. So I would say that for really, Eldar, do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, excellent, thank you. So to really benefit from this particular webinar, opening an Amazon account, I would just say that you should watch and ask Ayhan or Eldar for the former webinars, mainly the e-payment webinar and the opening a company in Europe or US webinar. So we explain many things there, how to open a company in the US or Europe to open, because that's needed for opening an Amazon account. And the second one, how to obtain e-payment solutions so that you really understand the compliance problems. So let's do that. Please review these 2 other webinars. And second point about this particular webinar, run it 2-3 times, because many things will not click the first time. So just run it 2-3 times, do your own Google research, do some testing. So that's what I would close about this particular webinar of today, Amazon account. Now, we're going to do another webinar on Monday, which kind of complements this webinar in terms of logistics. So on Monday, we will do e-fulfillment logistics, which will come back on the practical ways of using Amazon FBA. So if you have still some questions about Amazon FBA, I'm going to cover it, and especially Amazon FBA Europe, in terms of e-fulfillment, how to do it for Monday webinar, next Monday. And then we're going to have another 2 webinars after the e-fulfillment logistic webinar of Monday. We're going to have on next Friday a webinar on in-app marketing management, which is a technique of marketing. And we will have a 3rd webinar, and Ayhan can confirm this, on the next Monday, which will be on dropshipping e-commerce. So I will share with you some solutions on how you can do dropshipping, which is a little bit easier than doing Amazon e-commerce. And it's also a good way to start doing some business, even if you don't have products. So I will share with you some dropshipping tricks or solutions. So that's all for now. And I think, Eldar, I can close the chapter even if I do not hear you. And I would really want to thank all participants again. Thank Azexport, Ayhan Bey, Eldar Bey, and ITC for this opportunity. And I really say I'm happy to be with you, and I hope I can see you again, all of you, on Monday. Thank you, Orhan. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mohammed. We will see you on Monday.
Thank you, Ayhan Bey. I will now stop sharing. Right?
You can finish?
Yes, I will stop sharing my screen, and maybe I or Eldar can stop the webinar.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
See
you
you
very much. See you.
Sağ olun, teşekkür ederek uğurlarım ya.
I think, Eldar, you can stop the webinar. I don't see an option for that. I know here. Stop recording.